Hello, welcome back to my channel. So let's talk about this last episode of Seeking Sister Wife. First, we had the Davis family. So Nick takes Danielle out for some cheeseburgers, takes her to Pound Town, and then April and Jennifer decided, hey, we want to get to know Danielle. So they took Danielle out for lunch, and they wanted to know all the juicy details about Danielle and Nick's one-on-one time and about their whole relationship. And they're really happy because so far Danielle hasn't really shown any signs of jealousy so far. And it's harder for a polygamous family to work if jealousy is involved. But I think Danielle kind of knows what she's getting herself into. If you're a later wife coming in, I'm sure, it's just a part of life. You're going to feel a little bit of jealousy. But if you can't maintain that jealousy, then this kind of life just isn't for you. But they're super happy because Danielle hasn't shown no signs of jealousy. She seems to be like a girl's girl that really gets along with April and Jennifer really well. And Danielle, for the most part, she was being very open with April and Jennifer. She told them how she currently lives alone, and that would definitely be an adjustment to go back to living with other people. And Danielle, I feel you, girl. I've lived most of my adult life alone, and years back I tried to do the whole roommate situation. I also tried to move in with somebody, and hell to the no, never again. I can't live with other people, especially when you lived on your own for so long and just got adjusted to that. It's hard to go back to living with other people. And not only is she gonna have to adjust from living alone to living with other people, but she has to go from sleeping alone to sharing a bed with 3 other people because Nick, Jennifer, and April, they all sleep in the same bed together. And they said that any other women that come into the relationship, they expect them to sleep in the bed and share the bed with them as well. Of course, whenever they want to have their little private, intimate moments with Nick, they give them their own time together. But for the most part, every night together, they want to just be one big cuddle puddle. And Danielle was kind of concerned about that because she's like, well, what kind of bed is gonna fit all of us? And she was also thinking about her current relationship dynamic with Nick, because right now the spotlight and all the attention is on her because she's a new bright shiny new toy. But Nick says he wants to have up to 5 whole wives, so she's scared how she's gonna feel if she ends up coming into the family once he starts courting the next wife. And also, April and Jennifer are also concerned as well because Danielle is only 22 years old, so they're kind of scared where her head is at and if she's fully ready to jump into living this whole family lifestyle and settle down. And I know when I was 22, I definitely was not ready to settle down into a family, but everybody's different. And then we had the Foley family. So in this episode before this last one, Brenda, Steve, they took April out to eat, and Brenda ended up confessing to April that she just wasn't feeling it anymore because she thought her and April were going to have this really close sisterhood and lean on each other. And she feels like she really doesn't have a relationship with April. She gets upset because April and Steve are always talking on the phone, and April's never asking Steve, how's Brenda doing, or asking to speak with Brenda. And Brenda straight told April, look, this isn't what I thought this was going to be. I'm not feeling this. So April has not reached out to Steve or Brenda since then, and she's been keeping her distance, and I'm pretty sure that's a done thing right there. She's probably going to go find another relationship that isn't so stressful. But Brenda said that she's really dealing with jealousy, which is actually surprising. I know jealousy is an emotion that's really hard to control, but she came into the situation when Steve was already married to his wife for some years, and he had 2 kids with his wife, and then his wife ended up leaving him because she couldn't deal with the whole polygamous lifestyle. And now the 2 kids that Steve has with his ex-wife have resentments towards Brenda and blaming Brenda for the breakdown of their mom and dad's marriage. And Steve's son has since got past it. He's left the past in the past, but it seems like Steve's daughter still holds a lot of resentments towards Brenda. And then we have the Epps family. So Taryn was fighting with Marcus, her husband, because he wanted to ask her and her sister wife India when would be the right time for him to sleep with his potential wife Bina. And the family was considering Bina for a position as a sister wife, and Marcus therefore wanted to know when he could test out her full potential and being his third wife and take her to Pound Town, but Taryn didn't want to hear anything about it. She said she didn't want to know when he slept with Bina. And India, she was the complete opposite. She said she wants to know everything, when it happens, all the details. She's very possessive of Marcus, and her possessiveness was something that Bina found a little as coming off way too strong, and she was not liking it. And it's not like Bina's just some outsider. She's been a longtime family friend, and she's known Marcus for years now. She knows the polygamous threesome as a couple, and she was interested in becoming a part of the family. And both Taryn and India like her, but at the same time, they were kind of giving her a hard time because when they asked her why she wanted to do the whole polygamous lifestyle, she said when she tried to be in monogamous relationships in the past, she always got cheated on. And they're like, well, you know, a polygamous lifestyle, it shouldn't be your main reason why you're going to that lifestyle because you don't want to get cheated on. And I do agree with that. I think you really need to go into it for the whole family dynamic, not because you don't want to get cheated on. And then India decides to have this big dinner for her birthday. So she invites some friends and her sister was asking all the hot questions. She asked her, how does she feel to be so quickly replaced? Because India was supposed to be the new one in the family, and she hasn't been a part of the family for that long, for Marcus to suddenly want a third wife. And the sister believes that the sister wives were taking direction from Marcus when they said they want another sister wife. They thought they're just going along with it to make Marcus happy, and they weren't really feeling it. And she doesn't believe they're as happy as they let on. And when she started to pose her questions, India did need time to think, and she really was getting in her head about everything. And last but not least, we had the Jones. So Sidian packed up for a trip. He is married to Tasha, and they wanted to add a sister wife to become polygamous. So Sidian was considering a woman by the name of Arielle for the job, and Arielle lives in a different country, and she couldn't fly right now because of COVID restrictions. So Sidian flew out to meet her, and he talked about it with Tasha. She was fine, but they were a little stressed out because apparently Sidian has already tried to fly out to meet her before, and then at the very last minute, Arielle's plane couldn't leave because of COVID restrictions. So he was stressed out. He doesn't want to go all the way down there again and be stuck and she can't come, especially with finances, because he said he really had to pull together to come up with the finances to make another trip so soon. And so he talked about it with Tasha. She was fine, and they both liked what they've seen from Arielle so far. And Tasha actually has met Arielle because they worked together for a while years ago. So Tasha even gave Sidian the go-ahead to sleep with Arielle on this trip, and she wanted him to fully realize Arielle's potential as their third. And Tasha has no problem with that because she likes what she's seen of Arielle. But that's it for this video, guys. I do have to say, I did realize that we are already in the 5th or 6th episode of this season. And last season, for example, there was only 12 episodes. And the season before that only had 10 episodes. It seems like every year each season gets longer. But if we only have 12 episodes this season like last year, then that means we're already halfway through this season of Seeking Sister Wife. And I'm going to need some drama or some stuff to happen, because it seems like when we were at this point in the last season, there was already a lot that had already happened, but it seems like this is a really slow starting season. So I'm gonna need this season to pick it up a few notches or something. I don't know, but this season I just haven't been feeling it as much as I thought I was going to. But maybe it might get better. Maybe I'm speaking too soon, but if we're already halfway through the season, then man. But that's it for this video, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.